everyone, it's Joy from the Denver, Colorado area here in the United States. And haven't the demonstrations, the presentations so far just been wonderful? So here is the colors that I'm going to be working with. These are the new core colors. We have several new ones and then some returning colors. This is the Bright and Beautiful 6x6 Designer Series paper pack, and I'm going to be working with that today. So as you can see, there are some gorgeous patterns, and then of course you have 12 gorgeous patterns on one side, and you flip it over and you have 12 gorgeous patterns on the other side. So this is very fun. Very festive, kind of youthful, but it really could be used for anyone of any age. So, hi Sandra, and how's your evening? So, I'm going to go ahead and carry on and get started here. So, I am making, first let me show you a new stamp set that's coming in the new book, which starts in, let's see, May 2nd. So that is about 3 or 4 days. That sounds about right. And hi, Emily. Thanks for watching. So this is a new bundle, and it's called Circle Sayings, and it has a lot of great greetings, and then it has these arched stamps and a circular stamp. Couple of those that go with this 2 3/8 inch punch. So it is all part of a bundle at a 10% off price. Of course, you could buy them separately, but you know, why would you buy them separately when you could buy them together and save 10%? Of course, keep in mind that any orders you would like to place, you will place them with the demonstrator that invited you to this group. I'm also going to be using this tried and true punch. I love this punch. This is the Banners Pick-a-Punch. And hopefully you can see that without too much shimmer on it. And of course, you know, we always turn them on the back, you know, so we can stamp them. This does 1/2 inch strips, 3/4 inch strips, and then 1 inch strips. And I will be using that in my project as well. So now let's bring in my project. So this is a project that is a diagonal fold. So this is a pretty fun fold here. And I am going to show you how I did that. First off, let's bring in our trusty paper trimmer. I don't know what I ever did without a paper trimmer in the past. So it is about 12.5 inches. Not sure what that is in centimeters. I guess that would be 12.5 inches would be almost 32 centimeters, it looks like. Because it does have centimeters and inches, and it has this wonderful arm that comes out. I'm not going to be using that part today. But first off, I'm going to show you how I do this fun fold. Go ahead and I bring it over to the 4 1/4 inches. And if you are, let's see, if you are doing centimeters, that would be 10.5 centimeters. So I'm going to get that right at that line. And then get my cutting blade out of the way. Bring in my scoring blade, and I'm going to score that. And hopefully I did that even. Yeah, you want precise measurements on this so that everything lines up. And then you will flip it and do it in half the other way, score it in half at 5 1/2, or I believe it's 14.4 centimeters if you have the other size cardstock. So you have it scored both directions. And then you want to carefully remove your scoring blade. There's a little indentation right there, and you want to save that, put that in a safe spot. Do not lose that when you're doing this technique. Now, if you have the longer paper size, I'm not exactly sure how this will work for you, putting this in here. Hopefully it will still work for you. And you want to line this up on your cutting track. You want to get those corners lined up on the paper track. It's going to go a little past where you normally would go to get those lined up exactly. Get those little corners lined up there. I think I've got that lined up good. And I'm just going to take a little bit of washi tape. Remember the days where we put washi tape on all of our card fronts and things for decoration? Well, several of us have a lot of those left over. So I'm going to get a little bit of the sticky off by putting it on my hand a little bit, because you don't want it as sticky as it comes, even though it's low tack, because it'll tear your paper when you take it off. Let's just make sure that that's lined up in the track again, and we're going to put that on here to hold that in place. So now you want to bring your cutting blade down so that you're not right at the tip, because it'll ruin the tip if you start right at the tip. I'm going to go backwards and then go forwards all the way down, and then I'm going to kind of, the ends are kind of hard to get fully cut because of how you got it in the trimmer. So I'm just making sure that doesn't move, and making sure that this hopefully cuts all the way through. And it looks like it did. I'll just put that there to, well, little tiny bit. So just come in and take your paper snips and help that along a little bit. And do that on the other end as well. Just kind of help it along just a little bit. And then the corner where it made a little bit of an indentation, you can just kind of work the paper a little bit with your fingers, and it will smooth that out. So there you have that part. Now I used a piece of, let's see, Lost Lagoon for this, which I'm not going to use in my project. But I got an assortment of all the colors of the new cardstock, which are shown here in this piece of Designer Series paper. And we could only order for pre-order a limited amount of the assortment. So I don't have very much of the Azure Afternoon, which is a new color. So we have Lemon Lolly, which is a new color. Lemon Lime Twist, which is returning. Let's see. We have Lost Lagoon, which is returning. Pretty Peacock, which is returning. Azure Afternoon, which is a new one. Let's see. Blueberry Bushel, which is returning. Misty Moonlight returning. Berry Burst returning. Bubble Bath, which is new. And Fresh Freesia, which is returning. So those are all our colors. And, you know, if you're doing a card like this with that Designer Series paper, they all go together beautifully and make a very fun card. Let's bring in our piece that we cut of the Azure Afternoon. Oh, I want to start with this one first. For some reason, this, if you start with this side first, it just works a little bit better. I don't know why. You want to get that tip lined up right on the edge there. And then you're going to use your bone folder. And then you're going to come with the other side and you're going to get that all lined up and in the corner. You might have to help kind of work it in so you can line those up a little bit because you want them to just be right up against each other. And then bring your bone folder in and get nice, good creases there. So this is really fun. You can have a portrait size card or a horizontal card, which is what I'm doing. So there's your card base. You also need a layer of your first layer. I chose the Blueberry Bushel for mine. It's 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches or 10 centimeters by 14.4 centimeters. And you're going to need that trusty paper trimmer again. So it looks like Teresa is watching while she's eating dinner, and she's planning a little crafting. That's fantastic. Let's go ahead and get these corners lined up in the track, just like you lined your corners up for your large piece of paper. And again, you want to start off of the corner because you don't want to tear that corner. And you have that piece, and then you need 2 pieces of Designer Series paper in different patterns. So you've got pattern 1 and pattern 2, and they are 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches or 9.5 centimeters by 13.9 centimeters. And again, you need 2 different patterns. And the same thing, you're going to line that up and start off of the corner. Start off the corner, go backwards, and then go forwards. So those are what you're going to use for that. I already have my pieces cut in the patterns that I'm going to use for my card. The beauty of this is that you'll have 2 card bases, and when you cut your Designer Series paper, you'll also have enough for 2 cards. So you can make 2 cards at the same time if you wish. So we have these 2 pieces here, and we have our layering pieces. So let's go ahead and start getting some layers together. I'm going to take my multi-purpose liquid glue, the Tombow, and I'm going to start with that. I'm going to use that because it gives me a little more wiggle room when I'm putting this together. I'm going to try to make sure I keep this in frame. Sandra, you're browsing the catalog. I love it, because it won't be long before everybody can start ordering everything from the book. As demonstrators, we get to pre-order some things, but not everything. So we still have a lot of things on our wish list that we would like to use. We would like to order. So there's that piece. And then I have this piece here. I'm going to do the same thing. Spread a little glue. Keep it away from the edge. You don't want it too close to the edge because this liquid glue will spread. And let's go ahead and get this on. I'm leaving a skinny border around each piece. Now we're ready to attach to our card base. Some more glue. And again, leaving a little bit of a border, a skinny border. Oh, I'm getting glue everywhere today. Good thing it dries fairly clear. So you're going to just line that up the best you can. It won't be 100% perfect because we got all those angles going, but it will be pretty close. Trust me, people will see your beautiful card and they will not even notice if it's a hair off. Let's go ahead and attach this piece. And line it up. Boy, you're going to be able to tell I had fun today. I got glue everywhere. Okay, so now we have our card base going. We can set that aside and bring in a scrap piece of Whisper White and our circle punch, which I just had. Here it is. So I found with this set, it was easier to punch and then stamp for the most part. But I think for this first part, I'm going to stamp, not punch and then stamp. But for this one, I think I'm going to stamp and then punch. For this first stamp. This is the Azure Afternoon. It's a very rich kind of turquoise color. It's very pretty. And let's just try to get that going. Let's hope I didn't get it too close to the edge. Just let that ink soak in for a second. Close up my ink pad so that I don't get ink everywhere. Lift that up. Oh, that looks beautiful. Let it dry just a little bit. And we're going to put it in our punch. Lining that up. But I want one for the inside. And for the inside, it really is going to be easier to punch and then stamp because of the stamps that I'm using. Oh no, don't get stuck in there. All right. So now I need the Because You're Awesome. And I need this little stamp, which is just like little rays. Like rays of sunshine or rays of awesomeness. And the Bubble Bath ink. This is a very pretty, pale pink that has kind of some blue undertones. It goes really well with Fresh Freesia. I'm going to try to get that kind of lined up, kind of go up a little bit. Stamp that one, turn it around, kind of line it up again. And stamp another one. So I've got one on top and one on bottom. Looks like I might have one just a little darker than the other, so I'm going to put that one on the bottom. Then I need the Because You're Awesome and the As Your Afternoon again. Nice new juicy pads, so being very careful not to push into that pad. And let's see if I can get this lined up. Yes, I did it. So let's set that one aside. We have our Celebrate here. Now I have a piece. Where'd it go? I have a strip of the Berry Burst that is 3/4 of an inch wide by 3.5 inches long, or 1.9 centimeters by about 8.8 centimeters. And then I marked it with a pencil. I don't know if you can see that. I marked it with a pencil in half, where the half mark is. And it's in pencil so that I can erase it. So make sure you have a nice, clean, good eraser. If you notice, my pen is from Colorado State. My pencil, I should say, is from Colorado State University. Yay, go Rams! And marked it at 1 3/4 inches and 4.4 centimeters. Now, I need, let's see, this is from our embossing toolkit that has the little tray, it has these tweezers, and it has the embossing buddy. It's a really awesome kit. And this is Versamark ink, so that I can use some embossing powder. And I want this Today stamp. So let's go ahead and get some powder, good powder on this. Make sure that we don't have any oil from our fingers still residual on there for that powder to stick to. We want to have that be a nice, good, crisp image. We're going to stamp with Versamark ink and then use white embossing powder. So let's stamp with the Versamark. And let's see if I can get this straight on here. Oops. Lining that line up with that D on here. See if I can get this straight. All right. Now I'm going to bring in just a cheap plastic disposable type container and some coffee filters, because it just catches it a little bit better. And I'm not sure where my tray is for my embossing powder, because that would just be fantastic if I knew where that was. So let's go ahead and attach our... The wonderful thing about these tweezers is they're reverse crosshatch, so, you know, you can just hold it like that and it holds it. You have to squeeze for it to let go. So let's get a good generous amount of powder on there. It did pretty good. Couple little stragglies. If I had my brush that probably comes with this kit, that would be even more awesome. Do you ever find that you bring things to craft and then you forget some of it. So that's kind of what happens to me all the time. Let's go ahead and bring in my embossing tool, and hopefully it doesn't make too much noise. So just kind of hold it there until the powder starts melting, and as soon as it starts turning shiny and glossy, you know it's melted. So let's let it do its work. There it goes. Can you see it? Oh, isn't that pretty? I just love the look of the white on the dark cardstock. Love the white words. So now we can get that to let go, squeeze it to let go, and let that dry for just a second. I also went ahead and punched out a circle of the Azure Afternoon. So let's go ahead and attach this. And I did that so that it will all look nice and pretty inside my card, because we like our insides to look pretty too. And then just line that up. That's exactly the same size. So just line that up, kind of hold it together. Okay, there we have that. And I'm going to go ahead and erase my pencil marks. That's why you need a nice, good, fresh eraser to erase those pencil marks. Then you can take a tissue and wipe that powder off. And if you're like me and you don't usually have a tissue handy, just pull up your sleeve if you're wearing long sleeves and use your sleeve. I know, probably not the best thing, but it works, right? So this is our Banners Pick-a-Punch. This is 3/4 inches. So I'm going to put that in here. And I'm going to slide it up. See, make sure get it in good. And turn it over so that, make sure it's in where I want it. Make sure it's even like I want it to that side. And then I want it to do the same thing on the other side. So let's just get that, slide that in. Make sure that it's in the middle where you want it. There we have our piece. And beware of little flying pieces. Whoops. Did you hear that? That was noisy. So now I need some dimensionals. And this is going to hang off the edge a little bit. So I don't want to put my dimensionals all the way to the edge. So let's get a couple of dimensionals and leave some amount on the edge because it's going to overhang. Let's get the greeting piece together. I'm going to put that, I'll line it up like that, and I want this to go right over those letters and be kind of centered. Let's see. Make sure I get this right. Let's see. Put it there. Yeah, looks pretty good. Okay, so there we have that piece, and we have our card base. Oh, I forgot my ribbon. How could I forget my ribbon? Oh no, guys. Well, let's see if my little spatula end of my Take Your Pick tool will help me out. I can't believe I did that. I'm always doing that. Forgetting and attaching it a little too quickly. Can't believe I do that. I do that on a regular basis. I bet none of you ever do that. So the spatula end is going to help me kind of loosen the glue. So that I can get that ribbon back on there. Okay, there we go. It's loose enough. I can put this ribbon around. Just can't believe I did that. Well, actually I can. So now I need a couple of glue dots. Where's my glue dots? Here they are. Need a glue dot on this end and a glue dot on the other end. Going to position this around this layer. It's the Designer Series paper and my first layer. So we're going to just get this, try to get that where it's straight. And of course this is going to be just a little bit too long, so we need to trim this. And now it's going to stick again. I think I'm going to need some more glue. Let's put some more glue on this. I'm going to see if I can find my lines where the glue was before. There we go. Always a way to fix it. Just a little bit on this edge here. All right, we fixed it. We fixed it, yay! Okay, now it's time to attach this piece on our card. So it's gonna go right about here. So I'm going to hold it there and bring this flap up and use my pencil again to mark this, because we don't want to put glue on this part, but we want glue on this part. Let's get some glue. Oh goodness, we're going way over. Just bear with me. I have the hour. We're going a little bit later than I wanted, but, you know, just bear with me. It's going to be an awesome card when we're done. Okay. Now let's go ahead and erase that pencil mark. And this is why I wanted the Azure Afternoon on the back of that circle, so that it would look better on the inside of my card. Now, I do have a basic white inside that is cut at the 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. And I have a scrap piece of this Designer Series paper that's approximately 1 inch. You could have it whatever, you could be 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, whatever you have left over. This is just going to go right at the bottom of this piece. And then go on the inside of our card. Ooh, that's a thick piece of glue there. I'm going to thin that out just a little bit. And a little bit over here. Thin that out a little. Now, open this up, and yes, that's the right side up. So this will go in here with a fairly fat border around it. Is that right? Wait a minute, what did I do? Oh, I see what I did. Oh, okay. Well, this one's going to be a little bit different because I did it slightly different. Okay. Well, just goes to show you there is more than one way to do this. Okay. Now I have, where is it? I have a strip that is 5.5 inches in length, and it's about 3/4 of an inch in height, but or width, but that part doesn't really matter. And I'm going to, I have scored it, I should say. I have scored it at 1 3/4 inches, 2 1/4 inches, 4 inches, and 4 1/2 inches. So if you're doing this in centimeters, you're going to have a 14 centimeter length, and you're going to score it at 4 1/2, at 6, 10 1/2, and 12. So this is going to create a pop-up mechanism. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on this little tab here. And fold this over. And what this does is this creates like a little box. So we've got just a little box here. And this is going to go over here. And I want to, yes. So this is going to go like this. And then it will go down this way. So I want to trim off just a little of this on each side because we have a circle that we're dealing with here. Now I need glue on this little tab. And glue on this part. This is our pop-up mechanism. I don't know if you've ever made pop-up cards, but you need a little mechanism of some kind. Now this, let's see. First, watch that glue there. I probably should have waited on that one. First we are going to, let's make sure on this. Okay. Let's put this over here like this. And we want to get it about here because we don't want it going over the top. And then we want to close this. So there, oops, and let it dry a little bit. Yes, this new DSP is so much fun. Okay, so now we have our pop-up mechanism, and now we want to put a little, we don't want glue over here on this side, but we want glue on the rest of this. Okay. Thin that out a little bit. That's right side up, yes. Okay. So now, this circle, make sure you get it, the word straight, is going to go, it's going to hang out on here like so. So, you're gonna, this is how you fold your card up. So you have the Celebrate Today because you're awesome. Now, isn't that a fun card? I love it. Now, what I was saying earlier was, oh, and my ribbon that I used is the Night of Navy, I think it's like a bordered, satin border or something like that. It isn't telling me on here on the spool. But that is carrying over from the mini catalog. Yay, I love it when things carry over and we can use them for even longer. So we have this one that opens like this. Then we have my original one, which opens like this. So, you know, it's just a matter, you know, if you happen to have it opening a different direction, no problem. Just adjust where your pop-up is going to be. And last but not least, let's get some rhinestones on this card and we will be finished. We're going to put rhinestones right on these little dots here. Love my Take Your Pick tool. It's the most awesome thing ever. 3 dots, 3 rhinestones, and voila, we're finally finished with this video. So I just want to give you all a little heads up that today is the, today and tomorrow is when our video event is. So today I am the last presenter of the day. So be sure and tune in tomorrow morning. Take a look at the schedule that is included. It should be pinned in the featured part of this group, this Facebook group. And just check back and we will see you tomorrow morning here in the United States. And I think it might be tomorrow afternoon if you're in the United Kingdom. So we will see you later. Bye.